Hello and welcome back to my channel, Crafty Concepts with Erin. Today we're going to create a very spring-inspired card. I have this one here with this adorable bunny and beautiful floral stamping around the border. You can see that kind of stitched inner raised kind of floating frame there. I have the March and April catalog, and here is a close-up look of this bunny stamp. They've got some beautiful artwork there. But here's the bunny. It's just the bunny and Happy Easter for only $7.95. And they also have this beautiful stained glass inspired window as well. So I'm beginning with a piece of white daisy that is slightly larger than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I have this floral stamp here. This is from the These Are My People stamp, and you can see that flower up in the upper right hand corner. And this is from a promotion going on. This is the These Are My People special, and this is the special stamp set that was designed to go with this collection. And that is good for the month of April. And I will be showing you guys on Friday. I have a video where I will create a scrapbook process and 5 cards using that paper collection and this stamp set. So you're going to want to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that upcoming video. Now I'm really only concerned with the outer portion of this piece of cardstock here because we're going to be cutting it out and making a frame. So I'm stamping off of the edge and just visualizing the outer portion is where I want the majority of my stamped image to show. So I'm just kind of making a frame. We're dispersing these around the perimeter. And now I'm going to switch to this small daisy stamp here from the Love These People stamp set. And just put a few of these. And I want to make sure it's balanced so we're kind of offsetting them. And I can stamp from the inside of the card as well because, again, that inner portion is going to be cut out. So just keep that in mind. Put a few here and maybe one right about there. There, I'm going to add, we'll be coloring these in with our Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend marker, but I'm going to stamp in the sage green. There's this little leaf cluster here, and add a little foliage kind of dispersed in and around my floral images here. Put one there, maybe one peeking down from here, and over there looks good. It didn't quite fit coming, so we'll come from the inside of the card there and there. Just little subtle pops of green. And there, that looks good. So I'm going to flip my mat back over to the firm side. And now I have my Hydrangea blend and the light green blend. And let me zoom this in for you. I'm going to color in one up close, and then I'll do the rest off camera so you don't have to watch me color this whole card front here. So you can see I'm adding the darkest color of the hydrangea sort of at the base of where on the outside of that petal, like it'd be shadowing underneath. That's what we're doing with the dark colors. We're creating shadows. And then I'm going along in kind of a little circular motion with the medium color, blending over that and extending it just a little bit farther. Going around, and then we will go over the entire image with the lightest color, blending that all together. And as you're coloring this, you may think, gosh, mine doesn't look very blended, but give it a minute. Once it dries and everything, the alcohol kind of evaporates off, it really does kind of sort of marinate and meld together and blend even further. I enjoy coloring. I find it kind of relaxing and therapeutic. Oftentimes I'll stamp a bunch of images and then just sit and color while I'm maybe watching a movie with my boys. And yeah, I just really like it. And here I'm using that, this is the light green color, and that was the darkest that I colored in that part, and now the lightest on my leaf portion. And then I'm using the medium to kind of add a little shading down the vein there. I want to add black to the center. And now you can see how that shading and the color just brings that flower to life. I thought yellow would be a nice addition to this color palette. So I'm going to color in all these daisies yellow with the dark in the center and the light at the tips there. These are just lovely springtime colors, and I'm looking forward to Easter, although I'm very sad because we usually host Easter. We have a great big sprawling backyard that's perfect for Easter egg hunts, and I don't think that's going to be happening this year. I know Easter's right around the corner, and as of now, with everybody on lockdown with the shelter in place orders, then yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to have our big annual Easter egg hunt. I'm pretty sad about that. But hey, we're home and healthy, and there's much to be thankful for. So the coloring's done and we're ready to make our frame. I have the two larger portions of my stitched rectangle dies. And those of you who watch my videos know that I use these a lot. These dies are a workhorse for me, and I love the stitching detail around the edge and the graduated sizes. And yeah, I just use these a ton. So you can see that I have centered the smaller frame inside of the bigger one and secured those with removable tape. And I've run this through my die cutting machine, and now we're going to take out all the pieces here. So you get the inside portion and you get this stitched outer portion as well. So I have a ton of pieces that I can use for different projects. For today's card, I'm only using the two outermost portions that we've created by die cutting this. So I'm going to get those lined up, and then I have my pre-scored card base from our envelope or card and envelope value pack. And I'm using my liquid glue. I'm going to go around the frame here. You definitely, well, I recommend using liquid glue because you want to wiggle this into place once you get it onto your card front. So if you remember in the beginning, this piece of white daisy was just slightly larger than 5.5 by 4.25. And that's so we could just get our stitched rectangle die on there just perfectly. And you can see that it fits that A2 card panel just right. And now for my inner portion, I want this to be raised and kind of floating. So I'm using the smaller width of the dimensional foam tape. And I thought this would make a really pretty shaker card, but I'm all out of my acetate and literally didn't have a stitch of it left in my craft room. So that's okay. It will be pretty even without the shaker. But if you wanted to, you could do a shaker, at this point in time of the card process. So I want to make sure that my stamping is lined up, and I'm going to take off half of the adhesive protectant here and then just kind of lay this down. See, I had that backwards. Make sure your floral images line up. We can tack that down first, and then I'm going to pull out the strip as I lay that down in place, just like so. Just a little tricky way to help that lay down because that adhesive foam is very sticky, and once it's in place, you're pretty much committed. So there, that came out perfectly. This really gives a nice look with that inner portion kind of raised up and floating over the outer portion there. So I'm using the this is the smallest stitched frame, excuse me, to cut a piece. And this pattern paper is also from the These Are My People collection. I don't need the outer portion, so I'm going to set that aside for another project. And I just want this inner portion here. You can see that fun pink polka dot on the back. But I love this green plaid. I think it's just perfect for a spring-inspired card. We are just about ready to bring in our little Mr. Bunny here. So I have a scrap of the white daisy. I'm going to put down a little foam cushioning and use my black ink. And I love the way this bunny stamps. I mean, it's just so crisp and detailed, and he just is such a handsome guy. I guess he could be a girl bunny, but to me, all of my pets are boys. It just worked out that way. So naturally, everything animal is a boy. It's kind of funny. I work in the veterinary industry, and I have to be careful because people don't like it when you call their girl dog a boy, or vice versa for that matter. So I've gone ahead and stamped the sentiment Happy Easter on a strip of wisteria cardstock that I had lying around, and it goes with the hydrangea color of that Spectrum Noir marker just perfectly. So we're going to adhere this down into place. Now this does not by any means have to be an Easter card. It could say Happy Spring. You could make this a birthday card. I've made a few others where I've stamped it and it says just because. Lots of possibilities here. I want this little bunny's bow to match the flowers on my card, so I'm using that same Hydrangea blend marker to color this in. And I've done dark in the center, and then we're just blending that in with the medium. And then I'm going to lighten it up as I go out towards the edges of this big oversized bow wrapped around the little bunny's neck here. You can definitely color in this bunny, and I have done that. I've done some with shades of gray and brown, but for today's card, I just like the black and white look. So I'm going to leave him as so. And I want to pop him up because remember, we've popped up that frame, so our bunny needs to be at that same elevation. So I'm only putting foam tape on the upper portion, and where his little feet and tail are, I will just use regular adhesive and put him on the same level of that frame. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just removing the back. We're going to put a little liquid glue on his little footpits there and pull off my protective covering, and then we're ready to stick this little guy down. I'm just overlapping that sentiment just slightly there. Get him situated in the corner. Make sure that is straight. Now I'm going to add a little bit of the liquid glass to the bunny's eyes. It just makes him shiny, and it's going to help bring him to life. So here is our finished card. And I'm really happy with this springtime color palette and our little bunny character there. This is just a really fun card. I want to show you another card I've created with this little bunny character here. And I will have a video coming up on utilizing our scraps where I will feature this card along with so many more that I've created. So you're going to want to stay tuned. That one will be coming up next week. For a complete list of supplies used on today's card, be sure to check out the description box below or my blog over at craftyconceptswitherin.com. And here is another video that you will enjoy. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.